Hello and welcome to Sports Palava. I am Ken Ochonogo. Yes, we are looking at the politics of budgeting. We are looking at who gets what, from where. But then budget has to do with cash inflow and outflow. But this time it's about sharing of the national cake, sharing of the sports cake. What allocation goes to sports? But that is not the issue, because even in sports, we have to know who takes what proportion, what percentage goes to which sports. Now it comes to the crunch of the matter, because now we talk football. In Nigeria, they say it is the king of the games. It is the king of the sport. It is the sport as far as others are concerned, because most times they interchange it. When they want to say sport, they say football. When they discuss sport for 5 minutes, they discuss football for 20 minutes. So you ask yourself, do we have other sports in Nigeria? Do we develop them? How do we go? Are they worth having? Because we're talking about the principle of comparative advantage. I don't know what that means. But then, when the show, as we start the show, you have to follow us. But the crunch of the matter is this. Of the present budget, sports has about 6 billion budgeted for sports. Of that amount, which you get the figures, 1.2 billion is budgeted for football. And the other associations under the National Sport Commission has 4.94 billion, less than 5 billion. Sport has 1.2 billion. Then the National Institute of Sport, about 500 million, the NIS, where your researches and training are done. So, is it lopsided? Is it too much? Are we killing others for one? Or is it deservedly that if it is our primary donor, if it is our national sport, that we're not even spending enough for football? I have my gladiators in the house. They are going to look at it, and they will let you know from their own sides, because in Sports Palava, we give you both sides of this story. So I want to start with the complainant. I want to start with the man who is saying, it is too much. For goodness sake, all fingers are supposed to be equal, isn't it? But I don't think they are. Wale Adekoya. Hello, Wale.
Yeah, Ken. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon, viewers. I've brought the gospel of fairness, gospel of equity, and a situation whereby you give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, so that we can have progress, peace, and prosperity in our football. A situation whereby we have just a single sport getting about 19%, that's about 20% of the entire budget of what belongs to sport of a nation. And if you ask yourself, what indeed has this football done to Nigeria? What has it brought to motherland Nigeria? The answer is nothing, absolutely nothing. We won under 17, how many times? 2, 3 times, with lots of allegation of 8 cheats and what have you. The Olympics, once. The African Nations Cup, 3 times. Comparing, with all the things we've been doing over time.
Okay, that is allocation right there.
Excellent.
You can see it from National Sport Commission, 4.9 billion. Nigerian Football Association, the NFF, the NFA, it is an association according to their concern, 1.2 billion, 1.24 billion. And then the Nigerian Institute of Sports, yes, 479 million naira, all come down to about 6.6 billion naira for this particular year. So, if we are having, you can see the figures there. Wale, you have just done your intro, and so you think this is lopsided?
No, what you just show is pure injustice. The last 3 Olympics, you will see that we've not even been able to win any medal. And the last one particularly, we're talking about 3 billion of taxpayers' money. This to tell you that there's something wrong we've been doing, and we should just stop it. Football, Ken, is indeed not our best sport. There is time for diversify. There is a need for us to look beyond our noses so that we can get it right once and for all. We've been doing it over and over, but at the end of the day, nothing has come out of it, Ken. Somebody want to tell you that all the attention, the sponsorship and what have you, what indeed have we gotten from it? The answer is capital no. And I tell you, Ken, that the earlier we do the right thing, the better.
Shagu, you heard him. I mean, he said he's coming here. He's talking about equity. He's talking about fairness. I mean, do you disagree with all that?
Ken, let me start on this one. Let me say good afternoon to you. Let me say good afternoon to Mr. Wale.
You've said it before. Let's get to business.
I've actually not said it before. Good afternoon to our viewers at home. I want to look at the man who is actually coming to preach the gospel. The gospel is so sweet when the people like the gospel. The gospel will progress when it's what the people like. The gospel is the truth. The gospel truth is the fact that Nigerians want football. And the gospel truth is, even what we have is still not enough for football development. Let's be realistic. Now, we're looking at the statistics here, and we're looking at 1.27 billion naira for football. And I was, deep within me, I was like, wow, this is just an embarrassment for football in Nigeria. When other nations, like Britain, are spending £4 million on just coach education and monitoring. You're just teaching the coaches. £4 million is gone. So when you look at this trend, now in the Nigerian economy, you want to bring out, looking at our sport in about 38 federations. What is bringing out money? Who has the funds? Who has the people? Who has the passion? Football in Nigeria is like a second religion. Many Nigerians love football. This is what they want to do. And football has produced a whole lot. I was looking at you and you were telling me why we have won the Nations Cup as a nation. We have won the Under-17 World Cup. What other things do you want to look at? When you go out there, we have potential advertisers who will come because there's a market for football in the nation. So for me, even 1.2 billion naira for me is an embarrassment for sports. I was looking at the statistics recently, and in America alone, for just the age grade competition, they spent $5.9 million just on age grades. Now we are here talking about 1.2 billion naira for federation, whereby you have the national team, you have the women national team, you have the under-17 for both sides, you have the under-20, you have the under-23, you have the Sun Eagles, you have the Homeless World Cup, and we are talking about 1. I think this shouldn't even be an issue. I think the government must do more, because 6.6 billion naira, even for sport, is an embarrassment for this nation.
Ken, it's obvious this man lacks knowledge of accounting. Basic accounting.
Why? How do you say that?
I will tell you why. I'll quickly tell you why. You have to talk about what you have.
What you have.
I don't have any problem, even if we give the entire 6 billion to football. But we are saying, in reality, that if indeed all we have per annum is 6.65 billion, there is an injustice for just football.
But he's saying
what are the gains?
From what we have.
What are the gains other sports are brought into
I
the
will
nation?
answer you. No, you've asked a question, and then you want to answer. You ask yourself, even at the Olympics, the biggest sporting event on earth, it wasn't football that gave us our first glory. It was boxing. When we got our first gold medal in the same Olympics, it was an athlete. The effort of an individual, Chief Segun Odegbami, who gave it to us. Where was football? That's the question I'm going to ask you. We have 6.65 billion. I'm saying that it is too much to give 20% of the total amount. Assuming we have 500 billion, and you want to give 200 billion to your football, I don't have any problem with it. Provided you don't do that to the detriment of other sports.
Can I let you understand something? That is injustice. I won't call it injustice. Now,
you've already called it, and I've adopted it.
I didn't call it injustice.
You did. You just did.
I said I won't call it injustice.
No, you said this injustice.
I won't call it injustice.
Okay, go on.
This thing you call injustice, I won't call it injustice.
I'm waiting for you. Go on.
Let us look at it this way. You look at the Nigerian football team. Now, you have how many cadres underneath the football alone? Now, you look at athletics. You talk about these are individual sports. Many nations of the world, I was reading through yesterday, and Jamaica, many nations of the world like Jamaica, they go to have corporate sponsors this sport because these are individualistic sports. Now,
pure misinformation.
I've read the book. These are individualistic sports.
I've read the biography of Usain Bolt. No. It's misinformation. I have to correct that. For you to win a gold medal, it takes 10 years using the German system. If you're using the Australian methodology, it takes 12 years to produce a gold medalist. And it involves the effort of the government. You're talking about structure. You're talking about function. You're talking about a system. Government, private, family, school. They will come together to fetch you a gold medal.
A gold medal. Now listen up. Now when we're talking about 1.2 billion naira, let's get it very, very clear. Now we're talking about people that has different subsection under the set of people. Now
they have enough support.
From where?
When we are playing a football game, the state governors compete to host. When we go out, I don't want to mention.
No, the question is, why can't other sports also support?
No.
Why can't other sports also support?
When you said it was insufficient,
it's because the point is the $4.9 billion is an embarrassment on the shambles.
Okay. He's saying, your position is that the football
is like a religion. It's where the followers are. It's where our money should. It is where your mouth is.
Your money failed us.
Woefully. I'm taking it from where you are.
All right.
That yes, the money budgeted for sport itself is totally is pitiable.
It's mega.
Very, very mega.
Yeah.
Now, but he's saying that even if it is mega, why not do an equitable distribution of that
Basic.
particular money?
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here on this show this afternoon.
Let me answer the question. Well, now, the thing here is, you do an equitable measure of the whole thing. Now, be true to yourself. Now, you will give football $1.2 million. You will give karate $1.2 million. Come on, let's be realistic here. There is no way the fingers are not equal.
I allow you. Ken, I allow you.
That's what you are just saying.
We are discussing money, facts, and figures. Take it easy. Let me answer him.
He said if you give football 1.2
billion,
do you give karate
1.2 billion?
The answer is no.
Good.
Unfortunately, the young man is not aware of the difference between equity and equality. I'm not talking about equality here. Equality will mean everybody will get the same thing. I'm talking about equity. You have to understand it's money. It's money. You put your money where you go. Football may get more than the others. Ken.
All right, easy, gentlemen.